Good morning and welcome to the craft room. I'm Ellie Barnes. I'm glad you could join me this morning. I'm just going to make sure we're coming live to in the right place, and then we might get into what we're going to be doing today. Today is a very special day in our household, so I'll go through a few things in a minute, but I'll just make sure we are coming live in the right spot. And we are, so that's good news. People can find us. So I'm going to be doing a card today, and I'm going to use the Encircled in Nature bundle, which is on the online exclusives, and I'm making a birthday card for my husband who's turning 70 today. We've had an awfully big week here this week with my mum's first anniversary of her death, our wedding anniversary, and now my husband's 70th birthday. So it's been a bit of a rush week getting everything done. So I haven't got much prepared, so we're going to make this together because I need something to help him celebrate this special day. After all, 70 is quite a significant date. So I'm going to turn you down to the desk and hopefully we can get this all right. You know me, I'm not very good at all this tech stuff, but we'll get there. You don't need the ceiling, you want the desk. And if I just get it there, hopefully we're not too far out of focus. Right, I think we're pretty good. Might just try and get us a bit straighter. There's a lot of mess on my desk, isn't there? You can see it all. I'll just see if I can get you up a bit higher. So that's not too bad. Right. We've got the iPad in it. I've got everything in it. Let's get up. That'll do. That'll have to do. Let's get into it because we're going off out to lunch today. So this is the Encircled in Nature bundle. We've got the stamps here, and we've got the two lots of dies. And I'm going to use a bit of everything because I just think this is an ideal set for men's birthday cards. Well, it's ideal for a lot of things, actually, but it's going to be perfect for men's birthday cards and for my husband's card, I feel. He loves bright cards, first of all, for men, or cards that are not just, really boring and plain, as he says. So I'm hoping we can do something with this. And I like this saying here, may this year be incredible and filled with possibilities. And I think, the fact that he's celebrating such a significant birthday, that's a lovely sentiment to put on the card. So I'm going to get straight into it because what I've worked out takes a few different steps, and I've just realised I haven't pulled out a piece of cardstock, so I'm going to do that now. We need some old olive. So here we've got old olive, and I'm going to make a fancy fold. So I'm going to cut, 70th birthday, you want to do something special. So I'm going to cut along here, and I'm going to then score it at 10 and at 10 again. And then we'll pop that aside. I don't think there's a bit more cutting, but I don't think there's much more. So we're now going to fold it in and in. So because our paper is just under 30 centimetres, that makes this in flap just a little bit shorter, and it works perfectly. So that's the start. We've started. I'm going to use some nice bright paper on the front to fulfill his desire of brightness. And while I'm cutting paper, I'm going to cut some wild wheat paper as well. And what else am I going to cut? I am thinking about it, aren't I? You can tell I haven't really got much of a plan. I need some white paper. So let's get the cutting machine back in. Now, for my wild wheat, I'm umming and ahhing what to do on one part of it. So I think we'll do this. We are going to, this is going to be 1/2 centimetre smaller than the card, or the card piece, and I'm going to put wild wheat on this side. So I'm going to make it an extra millimetre. It's going to be 9.4 instead of 9.5 because that's just slightly under, and that's going to fit nicely there. And then I'm going to do 9.4 here. And I'm going to do, this one's going to be 9.5 because this one will go here. And then I'm going to do another 9.4 for this side. I'm going to do this one on top of it. So this is going to be another centimetre under. Oh, look, I think I know what I'm doing. We'll find out when I try and put it all together. And that'll go on top there. Right. And so then I just need to get a nice piece of paper for the front. Now I'm going to take 2 centimetres off this side. And I'm going to use that on there. Oh, we need to cut that at 14.3. And then I'm going to take this at 9.5. Now this paper is new. You won't have seen it. This is called, what's it called? It's called Thoughtful Journey, and it's some beautiful paper. This is coming out in the next catalogue. And look, these are just some of the ones I was looking at to what I was going to do. That's another one on there. What I was going to use on this card, and I ended up deciding on this piece. I just loved it because the fact he likes bright cards. I love the idea of the brightness there. So that's everything cut. Now, we're going to, I want to glue this on the front first because it needs to dry before I use the big shot on it, and you'll see why in a moment. So that's the other side. Isn't that, even that's beautiful. I could have used that. Oh, dear me. We were all slept in this morning, so everything's been a bit of a rush. A bit extra glue there. Bella and Alan went down to the football last night. I might just glue this one on here too. And while they were at the football, well, the football, Bella's Alan's lucky charm, because Essendon won again. Every match Bella's been to, Essendon's won. So if it's a game that they get to, put money on Essendon by the looks of it. So that's going to go in here, but I want to do some stamping on that before I stick that down. And one of these is going here, so we will stick that down. Oh, rush this morning. So yes, we all slept in. It was after 9 o'clock people were getting out of bed. So that's why I'm a little bit late, because I've had to get a few people up. Bella had to go off to 10-pin bowling this morning at 9:30, so it was, getting people up. She's supposed to have left at 9, but we got her out the door by 9:30. So that's the base. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 pieces, and I'm going to take one of the stamps out of it. This is a tree. It's This is a small, these are smaller on the front here, but that's that tree there. So I'm going to stamp that, and I'm using Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to stamp it on this one. And I want to also stamp a couple on this side. And I'm going to stamp here as well. So we'll just clean up here. Isn't that fantastic when you can just do that and it's clean? And this one's ready to go in here. Oh, it's not. I did something else. I did a quick run this morning of a card so I knew it'd all go together. And I nearly forgot what I had done. So I'm just starting off on the mat and then going over the trees, just so that there's some nice greenery behind them. And I'm going to do the same here. Start off. And I'm going to put, I want to do it in the middle here. And you'll see why soon. I've got to die cut some things out. And then up the top, I'm going to take in the wild wheat. And I'm going to bring that in too, just to bring some, so it's not stark white, a bit strong in spots, but that's all right. So that the white, the wild wheat colour, don't mind that being a bit heavier up the top there. And the green, the old olive, sort of all mix in a bit. Yeah, that's all right. I know it's a bit heavy in spots and it looks a bit, but I think that will look nice once I've got things over it. Oh, Ellie, that's no good. Let's start over. Sorry, folks. Rushing, and I made a mess. And that's because I used the wrong colour too. So let's clean up the table again. Oh, do you ever get mad at yourself when you do that? I do. I get very mad at myself when I make silly mistakes. Let's just quickly put our trees on. And close that one so we don't do that again. And bring our old olive over and our wild wheat. We'll get rid of those big splotches. We'll start with wild wheat, eh? I'm going to bring that down. Don't mind that being a bit strong across the top. Now we'll get our old olive, colour in our forest. When we were on the farm, the olive grove, we had forest round us on a couple of sides and it was lovely. And the Wombat State Forest. So I have got that a bit darker in there darker than perhaps I'd planned, but that'll be all right. I'm just going to try and soften the edges a bit more. And then I'll just... You should never rush when you're trying to use blender brushes because it doesn't work. I should be taking more time and care, but look, we'll make that work. You'll see what I mean shortly. So let's get some of this cleaned up and glued on. And then I'm going to bring in the cut and emboss machine. Actually, while that all dries, we'll start the cutting. The first thing I need to do is I'm going to take some of this paper. Now, this is, what was the name of this one? I've forgotten. This is carrying over. This is dried brush metallic design, specialty designer series paper. And I just love that. And I wanted to make this card a little bit special, being such a significant birthday. So I'll just cut that piece off and we'll put it here. And if I turn this machine a bit straighter, I'm going to cut out, not that one, this this is the outline for Happy Birthday. We might just put that down there. And we'll get some of these dies off here. I'd like these trees, these ones here. We'll pop them there. And these little trees, they can go there. And these two sprigs. And I'm trying to use where the gold bits are, but it doesn't matter if it's not completely gold. So, or actually I think they might be bronzy. But let's cut those ones out. It's great when you can cut a whole lot at once. Hang on, going through, yes. So, we'll take that out. So those trees are still in there, so we'll get them out in a sec. Those sprigs are done. That's done, the outline of Happy Birthday, and those trees are done. So if most of it stayed. It's very soft paper. So we've got the sprigs, the outline of Happy Birthday, another sprig, this little group of, come on, small group of trees, don't need that bit, and we'll just pop this one out. And a group of large trees. So that's that colour done. Now I'm going to cut some gold, but I'm not using straight gold foil. I am going to use this, which, let me show you. That was too quick, wasn't it? This is the distressed gold. Now we will need, I will need more than this, but we'll start with this much. I'm going to cut out, there is a stamp that matches this, and this actually cuts out this stamp here, but I'm not going to use the stamp, I'm just going to use a gold one. And there's two little tabs you can see here on my dies, and if you line them up, that's how you cut out that sprig perfectly. But I'm also lining it up because then I know I'm going to cut two of these and they're both going to be the same size. I also need to cut out, and I'll put this in the centre, 70 for my husband's 70th birthday. It's a big year for birthdays in this household. He's turning 70. Well, he turned 70 today, and I'm turning 60. So we're going to have a big combined celebration, but today we're just going to go to a local winery. Oh, it's actually near where we used to live, and listen to some music and have some wine and chat with friends, which I think is a great way to spend a birthday. So I'll pop that aside. There's lots of bits there I can still use for smaller pieces later on. I'll put the 70 aside. And we'll put this piece aside. And I need to get another piece of the distress gold. So I need it to fit that and the happy birthday. So I'll just cut it like so. And we'll put, where's the happy birthday? Here. And again, I'm going to line this up. And cut those out. So let's get the happy birthday out. Oh, there it goes. So we've got a nice happy birthday there. I'll just poke those bits out. And another gold, I'll keep that for something else. Another gold twig rim. So I'll pop those aside. Now I need to cut another piece, and you'll see what I'm going to do with this after, but I'm just going to cut it here. There's a couple more cuts and then we're done. This one. And I'm going to keep both those pieces, and you'll see why in a minute. And then I'm bringing the card in, and I'm going to cut a hole in the front of my card. And I'm just going to pop this down here like so. Just like that. I think it's got to go there. Actually, it might just go up a fraction. Right. And then we'll go back out this way. So now I have a great big hole in my card. So let's get rid of this and I'll show you how we're going to put all this together. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp on this piece of paper. So I'm popping it back in where it sat so that it helps me line everything up. I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow again, and I'm going to stamp. This is this stamp, I'll show you. this stamp here that fits inside the circle. So I'm going to stamp that in Mossy Meadow along the edge of my circle, and I've tried to not get my head in the road, like so. And it's stuck, but that's all right. So I've got some lovely trees now on that. We'll get rid of Mossy Meadow, and we're going to bring in Old Olive again, and I'm going to put some colour on this again. Okay. Just going to soften it a little bit up into the white part. And then I'm going to put that lovely greeting that says, "May this year be incredible and filled with possibilities." Lovely idea, lovely sentiment, I think, for a birthday. So let's stamp that. And I'm using Cajun Craze, which is the same colour here. I just wanted to bring some brightness into it. And that's that one done. Now, let's start putting a few things together. We can glue this page in because that's done. So we'll do that. We'll go from the inside to the outside. So I'll just move up a bit so you can see what I'm doing. So this is our page to write on. And I'm just going to pop that in the middle here. And that's, yes, sitting nicely there. And then this page will go on the other side. And I don't know which side I did worse. Both sides aren't great. But I did want a bit of a green background, and I might do a bit more. Let's see what it looks like. I wanted green behind the 70. So we might actually just add a tad more, just to try and make that a bit more even. I haven't done a very good job of it, have I? Now just tap off. So it looks like I planned to be that dark. Make a mistake, you just work around it. That's built up a bit more colour. Perhaps still a little bit up here. Ah, yes. That's given it a bit more colour. Looks like it's just now a bright circle of green. So first things first, let's get the happy birthday together. So that's going to go up here, like so. So let's do that. Put those, glue those on, and then while that's drying, get all the little bits out. Yeah, it's been, as I said, it's been a big week here. And it'll be nice to sit down and relax and listen to some music this afternoon. And look, I will give you the name of the... I'm not advertising, but I do love this winery. It's called Wombat Forest Vineyard in Glen Lyon. That's where we were before we moved here to Ballarat. But once we got off the farm, we went to Glen Lyon, and then we moved to Ballarat so Bella could attend school here. So there's happy birthday, or happy. Let's get the birthday on. Now you could use the sheets for this. You know, I could have put some backing sheets, the sticky sheets, but I tend to use multi-purpose glue for everything. I love it. Some people hate it, but I think you've got to remember not to use too much. I tend to just do little dots and spread it out, even like this. And then, once I put this down, it's stuck. Once I've got this down, I'll show you. I then go, because it's stuck to me, you do get a bit sticky. So let's get this all where it's supposed to sit. That looks pretty good. Now there's little bits of glue there. I just grab a wipe, a wet wipe, and I just dab it to pick up the glue. And it actually helps stick it down too. So that's going to go up here. And on the 70, I'm going to put this on the here. So let's get that one done, and then I can put the happy birthday on. Again, those sticky sheets would have made life easier, but I am, as I said, a glue girl. So let's get that one there. It's been a year of making 70th cards. This is the third one I've made. It's what happens when some of your friends start to get a bit older. I might just grab a little bit of that excess glue and shove it down that end. Oh, look at it, it's all over the front there. That's all right, I'll grab my wipe in a minute. Now, I've got to get that in the right place. Looks a bit low. And we'll just grab the wipe. Now you've got to be careful when you're doing it with ink, but because it's a splodge anyhow, because you can see it comes off, it's not too bad. I think my 7's a bit wonky. Ah, it's handmade. Handmade cards, they're made to be wonky, aren't they? Right. Let's get the happy birthday here. I had done this last time. In fact, I can show you. I did it all on the wild wheat, and I just thought it was a bit heavy. So that's why I've done it this way this time. That was my practice run before I did the live. I like to know what I'm making, otherwise I get myself lost. So that's the inside of our card. Looks like that. Okay. Now I'm going to close the card, and this piece, and I haven't lined it up straight, Ellie. Oh. We'll have to do that again, and I'll have to get that in the right position. I don't know why I did that. I'll just grab a piece of white cardstock and cut out another one. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I don't know if you can see what I can see. To line it up, it's upside down. So I'll have to cut another one quickly and do it again. Silly Billy. Where did I put that die? Here it is. I won't bring it over, but I will work over here just quickly. So you see me cut this out a minute ago. I'm just cutting it out again. And before we start stamping on it, let's get it round where we want it. That is the front. So it's going like so. So that's where we want it. Do it the other one. Do it without that and I'll work on the back, on the board. So that's front. So let's quickly get our Mossy Meadow. You see, when you're doing this, don't be afraid if you've made mistakes or you're not happy with something to do it again, because that's what we all do. Things don't always go right the first time. Sometimes they don't go right the second time either. Oh, that's pretty heavy. Oh, that's all right. Well, that's all right. And then we'll quickly grab this one. And we'll try and stamp this up the right way. And there we go. Oh, done again. Took no time. So this is going to go in through here. And so I get it straight. It's not going to be quite straight, is it? But straight enough. So I get it straight. For what I need, I'm just going to glue it through the circle. Put glue everywhere. My words are slightly crooked, but that's all right. It's my husband, he'll understand. It's been that type of year and week. Now, these gold rings, one's going to go on here. Come on. And let me line that up. We'll get that one there. And again, I'm going to use my wipe because I've got way too much glue. Just get it all fitting nicely in. And I'm going to take my trees. And place them on the side here. And the little ones on the other side. So the theme of the trees going right through. There we go. They're a bit crooked. Let's get them straighter. That looks a bit better. Can't have crooked trees. Everything else is, the word's crooked, but we'll try and keep the trees straight. So that's that part of the card. So we've gone there to there. Now we're going to do the front, and I'm just going to use this block to hold it down while I work on it. So again, another one of these gold rings. And again, I'm going to find that straight a bit. It's quite straight on the inside there, so I've just been using that to match up so I can get it in the right place each time. So that's a handy little hint. I just find something that stands out each time when I'm trying to do this sort of thing. Oh, now there's one other thing I haven't done. I was going to cut out some more leaves. I wanted to cut out, to go with it, something in some Cajun praise. So we'll just grab this little scrap here. And where's my scissors gone? Here's a pair. I'll just cut this through. We'll pop this over here and bring our machine back. A cut and emboss. And we'll just get this through. And it's fantastic the way this one, the one die cuts 2 stems out. So there you go, one die cutting 2 stems out. And we'll pop you all over there out of the road again. We'll just clean up this so we don't get green ink everywhere. This desk looks like World War III happened. While Bella and Alan were at the football last night, I held a class here. We had a sip and stamp class and made some lovely cards using the, what is it called? The textures, Earth and Textures bundle, suite, which is retiring. Very sad about that. Love that set. So let's just put a little bit of glue again on here. And I'm just going to pop this around this side. And then I'm going to pop some glue on this one. Would have been nicer if I got the words straight, wouldn't it? Oh well. Once he's had a couple of glasses of wine at the winery, you may not notice. What do you think? I'm actually giving him some money to buy some nice wine. I'll pull it up a bit so you can see it. And then I'm going to pop these 2, which now have that nice goldy, bronzy colours and green colours. To pick up some of these greens here. And again, just probably don't need much on that bit. I might take it off that bit because that bit might hang into the card a bit. So now it's stuck to me. We were saying this a bit last night. It all sticks to you. And that one certainly did. Sticks to your fingers. And again, we'll do this one. And I don't want any bits of glue coming through, so I'm just going to tap it again. And that'll help push it down in place. And that's, I'll leave that on there a bit longer. Maybe actually if I use the bone folder, it might actually flatten it a bit more. Go at the back too. That's a bit better. Now, I wanted to put a bit of colour in or something to cover up that join. And I did have some twine here. It's on the side here somewhere. Here it is. Get that piece of stuff off. Now, I actually felt that just was a bit thick. So what I've done, doing is I'm going to, it's actually 3 pieces joined together, and you can unravel them. So there's one. We need those 2. I'll put that aside. So I'm only going to use 2 pieces, and I felt that this was a nicer look than just having it thick. And I know it's a guy's card, but I am going to do a bow, but not a big bow. Just a small bow. And it's all a bit of a, I'll pull up one string a bit smaller than the other so that the little bow sits inside the big bow. And I'm going to pop that on with just a little bit of tear and tape. Could use a glue dot too, but I haven't got any handy. So I'll just put a little bit of tear and tape here in the centre. And I'm going to put my bow there. And I'll just cut a bit off. And you can, which I tried to do before, get off me. Stuck to my fingers. All that glue. Just frizz the ends just a bit. It's actually easier if I get the pick. And we just fray them a bit. And I'll do it on the mat. It just makes it look a little bit more natural and a little bit less perfect. And then that all just sort of hangs around. And to finish it off, I need to put a little bit of bling on. Again, I have some bling here somewhere. You know, it's going to be so organised today, and it just never happened. One day I will be, and I'll shock you all. Here it is. So I'm going to pop one here. These are the iridescent gems, and it looks like they're retiring, so that's a shame. They're very pretty. Are they retiring? No, they're not. They're carrying through. I'll just put that on the... They're carrying through. Good. So, yeah, they're going to carry through, so that's lovely. I love... They're very simple. If I should, you know, I don't mean simple. They just bring the colour of what's underneath through with a little bit of a gold hint. And so that's my card for my husband, albeit crooked. But there is the card. That's the front. Get everything out of the road. We can look at the front, the inside, and the inside. So I hope he likes it, and I hope you liked it too. That was just something I wanted to do that was a little bit special for him. Now I'm going to turn you back to me. So let's give it a go. We're going to go... No, we don't want that. We're going to do that. Hello, we're back. I'm getting used to it. Haven't practiced got it quite in the right spot. I'm sort of going, I'm here. We can do this. How's that? That's a little bit better. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It's just something I wanted to do for Alan, and so that he could have a good birthday. And I just thought it's got a few things in there that you might enjoy seeing. First of all, using one of the newer sets that you can grab from the online store. It's the online exclusives, and also just showing a bit of a fancy fold and how you can just turn it into any stamp set into any type of card. So I chose this one for his birthday. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I will catch up with you again next week. I'll be here. I promise I won't be as messed up as I am today. It's been too big a week for us. And I might actually get a chance to get some sleep and make a bit more sense. But we'll be going off now to enjoy a lovely lunch out at the winery, and hopefully you've got something nice planned too. Enjoy your day and enjoy your week, and I look forward to catching up with you next time. Bye-bye.